Our job is to manufacture different ways of urgency, and seasonal urgency is something that we can do in the fitness industry because there's get ready for summer, back to school, new year. So we really have a lot of reasons to strike up seasonal urgency.
Welcome to the Fitness CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to helping fitness entrepreneurs launch and grow successful gyms. Here's your host, Bryce Henson.
The next weapon of influence to enhance your offer really comes down to urgency. And a lot of times urgency and scarcity are viewed as one, and really the key underlying factor is fear, and fear can be a good motivation, and certainly you want to use it ethically and responsibly and make sure that your scarcity and urgency is actually true, because otherwise you can make a short-term sale, but long-term that will actually be detrimental to you. But urgency is different in the sense that urgency is actually a measure of time. So there's a few different types of urgency at play. Number one would be a group hard urgency. The other would be a group rolling urgency. Other ways, seasonal urgency is an example. So I'll kind of unpack those in a second. The group hard urgency for our Ultimate Transformation Program as an example is, we have a specific time frame that we execute the program. So we'll say we're shooting this podcast in the fall, or actually as fall approaches. September 1st is when the program starts. It's a hard urgency, so people need to get off the sidelines, and B, you know this to be true. The vast majority of sales, whenever you run a program with a hard a hard deadline urgency, are going to happen in the last 24 hours of the sale.
The final hours is when the sales roll in.
So that would be an example of a hard urgency point. The other would be a group rolling urgency. So I'll refer to this a few times in this particular podcast, but the Ultimate Transformation Program, or the UTP program that we have, we really open up 5 spots that basically start every single Monday. So when we're talking to a prospect online and it's Wednesday or Thursday of the week prior, it's like, okay, well, hey, as it turns out, we have one more spot left, which is actually a unit of scarcity. And as it turns out, the program starts this coming Monday, so we need to get you in the program, otherwise you're going to miss out. That's an example of a rolling urgency, which you can basically roll in every single week. You open up another 5 spots the following Monday. Mm-hmm. Of course, the prospect doesn't need to know that, but that's a great way to basically increase your rolling scarcity. And then urgency. And the last point on that is seasonal urgency. And I'll tee it up for you, being that the CEO and founder of Trulian. Trulian, our nutrition supplement company, has a lot of seasonal flavors and all that. So I'd imagine at certain times of the year, you basically have certain seasonal offers that come and go, and that would be an example of a seasonal urgency.
Exactly. One of the greatest examples I can tell you is during that fall season, as we get into winter, we've got the pumpkin spice flavored protein powder, right? It is a very limited flavor for a season. Heck, we see Starbucks do this with their pumpkin spice latte, and sales go up. And another way they do that is saying, hey, by the way, in this fall season, we have the pumpkin spice latte, and we have a very special cup for the season, a holiday cup. So anything you can do that is seasonal based will increase the purchase factor. In fact, many years ago, I met a gentleman from Coca Cola, and he asked me, he said, do you know why we have the fridge pack and the cube and all these different ways of packaging up cans of Coca Cola? I was like, gosh, I never thought of it, but there's like a 12-pack, a 24-pack, the long fridge pack, the cube, right, and the 6-pack. I said, no, I didn't. He goes, because when we can repackage something and then write new and improved, sales go up by 12 to 20%. And so that is another form of seasonal, right? Like maybe during the sports season, they'll have, for example, an NFL team on it that's endorsed by Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whoever, and all of a sudden sales go up. And so our job is to manufacture different ways of urgency, and seasonal urgency is something that we can do in the fitness industry because there's get ready for summer, back to school, new year. So we really have a lot of reasons to strike up seasonal urgency.
Totally.
Hey, my friend, hopefully you love that short teaser of the recent episode on the Fitness CEO podcast. To check out the full episode, it will be dropping shortly, but in the meantime, there's some other episodes around here that you need to see.